In Paranormal Activity 4, it has been 5 years since the disappearance of Katie and Hunter, and a suburban family witnessed strange events in their neighborhood when a woman and a mysterious child move in.
This chat's done, and I'm gonna go make a snack
No,
downstairs.
take me with you. Are you alright?
There's something going on across the street. That's the new neighbor's house.
What the hell?
Front door open.
Mom? What the? Mom, I don't think it was an accident.
What are you talking about? It's really weird.
For the past few years, I've considered myself a big Paranormal Activity fan. I really loved the first one. It came out of nowhere and took me by surprise. I thought the second one was clever in that they used the security camera aspect. I thought the third one had some really likable characters, and it was actually pretty funny mixed in with the scariness. And I also thought that it had a lot of unique ideas to it, like the rotating camera. But with Paranormal Activity 4, while of course I was excited because it's Paranormal Activity, the trailer didn't do much for me. And I know that they like to show things in the trailer that aren't in the movie, and of course vice versa. But all that aside, I figured, you know what, I've liked each movie better than the last, and so there's no reason Paranormal Activity 4 won't be better than Paranormal Activity 3 and so on. So I went into the movie with an open mind, and I was really excited. And having seen Paranormal Activity 4, I have to say that we've had a good run, but the train stops here because it's not very good. There are a lot of problems with this movie, but the first one that I have to say is that it's boring. It brings nothing new or unique to the table like each other one did. It's the same old tired stuff, and of course you hear the jokes about every movie's the same, a door creaks open, woo. But it's more than that. You know, the rotating camera thing in the third one scared the hell out of me. I thought it was terrifying and extremely tense. And each one has its own little things that it kind of adds to the table. This one, literally, aside from the Connect, and I'll get into that later, brings nothing new to the table. It's all the same crap. And not only that, but this movie feels so forced. All the other movies, I believed that they had a reason to be recording. But in this movie, it is so unnatural that they are recording. They're supposed to be Skyping and using cell phones and stuff. The Skype thing is okay, except for the fact that Skype doesn't automatically record your conversations like this kid's computer just happens to do. And the cell phone aspect of it, why are they walking around just filming things? It doesn't work like it has in the last ones, and I really did think it's worked previously. But I do have a lot more to say about it, so let's start off with the plot and the writing, which, unfortunately, you'd hope that this would advance the story more, right? Especially considering the tagline is all of the activity has led to this. But it's just another lie. The story really doesn't advance anywhere. It literally advances maybe a minute. And that's it. And then they, of course, expect you, well, come back to the next one where we're going to tell you everything you've always wanted. And they won't. Again. I've actually thought that I've gotten enough in all the past ones. It's like just enough in 1, 2, and 3. Well, really just 2 and 3 because 1 was a one-off. I thought that it was enough to keep me interested to the next one. But this one really doesn't give you much. And I don't know if this is in the writing or the acting, if they were ad-libbing, but some of the dialogue and some of the lines in this movie are so bad. The one example I have to mention is the whole duck face thing. I was cringing in my seat. But overall, the lack of story, I guess you could say, or the lack of an advance in the story really led to this movie being boring. But that's not the only reason, because directing-wise, it felt like they were playing it so safe. It's like, at this point, they literally said, you know what? We've actually tried to spice it up in the past, but who gives a shit? People will go see it anyway. It will make so much money. Who cares? That's what it felt like. And, you know, I don't know if they actually were trying, so that's not fair to say necessarily, but if they were trying, they should be embarrassed. I actually think they'd be better off saying, we didn't even try. The only new-ish element is the Connect, I guess you could say, but it's so obvious what's going to happen with the Connect. It's like, oh, look, there's dots that pick up movement. So, obviously, there's going to be movement that shouldn't be there at some point, so it's not like there's anything surprising ever, really, with that. It's like you know what's going to happen. Towards the end of the movie, there's like one scene where I thought, this is actually pretty good, and it was a good scene. But then, unfortunately, the ending of the movie, not giving anything away, of course, I'm usually barely looking at the screen because at this point, I'm tense as hell, I'm anxious, and I'm like, oh god, something's gonna jump out and scare the hell out of me, or it's gonna be scary. And in this movie, no tension. I had no trouble watching. I was, if anything, just disappointed watching the screen. I was like, no, come on. And the very end of the movie, not after the credits, which there is something after the credits, so stick around. The very end of the movie, like literally the last 5 seconds, is just a joke. It's ridiculous. I will get a little more into the ending, and I will talk about some more spoiler stuff, as well as the after credits scene, when I can talk spoilers at the end of this review. I don't want to give anything away right now, so let me wrap it up with the last aspect that I have to cover that doesn't spoil anything, and that is the acting, which is not that good. I would say in the last movies, I've enjoyed the cast, in the sense that they have been likable. I think everyone's been likable. But in this movie, aside from the boyfriend being likable, everybody else was pretty bad, and I think it's more in the acting than in the writing. I know I said earlier I don't know, but it's gotta be in the acting. The main girl, really not good. The parents, The kids were not really acting. They were just kind of like following orders, you know? Okay, you're gonna say this, and then you're gonna walk across the room. That's what it felt like. But overall, I really have been a big fan of the Paranormal Activity series thus far, and so it's not coming from someone who just hates these movies and is saying, oh, they're lame. I have really enjoyed them, so this is coming from a fan. It's not a good movie. And it's unfortunate because I can't imagine they can pick themselves up from here. This is probably the end of the line, and I will of course see any future movies, but I would be surprised if they actually are able to redeem themselves beyond this. But now I'm going to talk about some spoilers because there are a few more things I have to say that I couldn't talk about without ruining it. So please stop watching this review now, go see Paranormal Activity 4, and then come back and see what I had to say about the ending and some other aspects. Hopefully, if you're still watching, you have seen Paranormal Activity 4. Let's start off with the Kinect. First of all, I really don't think this was a product placement issue. I don't think that Microsoft contacted them and said, please put our Kinect in your movie, because it's in the movie too much, and I feel like if it was product placement, it would have been in the movie a tiny, tiny little bit. If it is product placement, I'm not saying I know for sure that it is or isn't. I'm just saying there's no way it can be in my mind. If it is, that's unbelievable. But it didn't bother me. I didn't think it was, so that's okay. Like I said, the whole thing was predictable with the Kinect. You know that it's going to be something moving around that shouldn't be there. The only moment where it was done well was when the kids are running around and then someone turns the lights on, and for a split second you see a third kid running with the two kids. That was cool, but then the next part was lame, because then you just see like a spooky little CG kid or whatever it was, and it's not, I didn't think it was scary. I thought it was pretty silly. The other one thing that I liked about it was when he zooms in on the avatar and the avatar's moving around, but nobody's moving for the avatar to be moving around. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be something to catch, and I thought that was kind of cool. Subtle stuff is cool. This over-the-top CG ridiculous stuff where, like, you know, the thing goes by in the background behind the kid is stupid. The one aspect of the movie that I was actually scared, and I was sitting in my seat like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, didn't even end up being anything, and for all I know, it was unintentional. There is a doorway in the girl's room, like into a closet, with beads hanging down, and something hanging on her door was casting kind of like a shadow almost, or something that looked like a human form. Behind the beads, it kind of looked like it was moving because the beads were moving, and I thought that was horrifying. So the only thing I really thought was scary in the movie may have been unintentional and was literally just beads swaying in the doorway. I mentioned earlier that there was one scene that I thought was good, and that was the scene in the garage when the car started to smoke up the garage and the girl couldn't breathe, and then she broke the window of the car and backed up out of the garage. I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, no other aspect of the movie is as surprising or interesting or something you can't really see coming, so that's that. And now let's talk about the ending, which, like I said, was just an absolute joke. When you see Katie, which I'm not getting sick of the Katie thing, but it just felt so like, I'm Katie, here I am in this movie. Like, it didn't mean anything really, except for the fact that it's Katie. There was no story really to it. Not enough, at least. But when you see her in the hallway, and her face goes, rah, and makes that lame-ass CG effect demon face that I can't stand and isn't scary in the slightest, and she runs down the hallway and, like, breaks through the door, I just thought that was ridiculous. It was too much. And the very worst part, where I literally was just done, was in the last few seconds when the camera turns and you see like an army of these doofy looking demon people things. It was over. It's all over. Like, I can't even digest that seriously. It was so stupid, so unbelievably ridiculous. It looked stupid. It wasn't scary. I don't understand what went wrong. Why did everything completely backflip from the other movies actually being good, better than the last each one in my opinion, to this one just being such a mess? I don't understand. And of course, after the credits, there is a little teaser for the Latino spin-off of Paranormal Activity. That's a whole other topic. I don't know why that even is going to exist. I don't know why it's not just a sequel, but okay. The little teaser was nothing. I thought there would be a little bit more to it, but it was just the guy like in a liquor store, then a girl pops up, hoo-doo-boo-doo-boo, spooky. That wasn't me trying to speak Spanish, by the way. That was me going goo-boo-doo like a ghost. And then she says basically get out, and he leaves, and that's it. And I felt really stupid for staying around and telling people, yeah, there is something after the credits. That's it. So all in all, in case you can't tell, I'm very, very disappointed with Paranormal Activity 4, and once again, that is coming from a fan of the series. If I disliked all of them, I think my credibility would be low because it's like, why am I even seeing it? Why would I expect it to be anything good anyway? But I really have liked them all, and I've honestly liked each one better than the last, I think, and I've been scared, I've jumped, I've been freaked out, and this one did absolutely nothing for me. But let me know in the comments what you thought about Paranormal Activity 4. Maybe because I'm such a fan, I had some higher expectations and I'm scrutinizing more because I expect more. Maybe if you're just a casual fan, you liked it more. I don't know. Also, let me know what you thought of the cast and the acting and the writing and the dialogue, I guess, all that different stuff. Let me know if you thought there were any unique scares in the movie, or if you thought it was all just kind of the same old thing and felt very bland. Let me know anything that you want about Paranormal Activity 4, and that's pretty much it.
Oh my god!